Hey, welcome to the Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast. We are your hosts, Eric Sturgeon.
And I'm Russell Sorry.
This podcast is about all things Wisconsin, history, music, culture, and beer. Although we don't often use strong language, the content is not intended for young audiences, so listener discretion is advised.
If you love the bluegrass music you hear in this intro, please check out Dang It's from Madison, Wisconsin by visiting their website, dang-its.com. Now on to the show.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast, your weekly dose of the Dairy State. As always, we are your hosts, Eric Sturgeon.
And I'm Russ Sorry.
Today we are talking about the Oleo margarine wars against the dairy industry that occurred in the state of Wisconsin. We also have Wisconsin music from the Yellow-Bellied Sapsuckers. We have a beer review, the infamous How Many Locos You At segment, and another special interview with Grumpy Troll. Just a reminder to rate, review, comment, and subscribe via your favorite way to listen. Whether that's a podcast, audio stream, or YouTube, any little bit helps us gain the exposure to our little show that we do here. Without further ado, here is our episode and story on the Oleo Wars, Wisconsin's battle against margarine.
So a little backstory on how margarine was started. In 1813, a French chemist named Michael Eugene Chevreul discovered margaric acid. The word comes from the Greek word meaning pearl, oyster, or pearl. And when a French chemist named Hippolyte, using the acids, created a cheaper substitute for butter, originally created for the armed forces in France's lower class, as Emperor Napoleon III of France offered up a reward to anyone who could create a butter alternative. He dubbed this Oleo margarine, which eventually would be shortened to just margarine, which is what we know it as today.
Yeah, exactly. Can't believe it's not butter.
Made with beef fat and margaric acid, this did not sit well for Wisconsin, the dairy state, and we weren't having any of this fake butter bullshit. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger couldn't convince us. I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah, the governor.
Yeah, he couldn't even convince the Wisconsinites that this is cool. It's not cool, bro. Thus starting what is commonly known as the Oleo Wars. So to make margarine more appealing to people, yellow dye started to be added to the margarine to make it look more like butter and appear more like the thing we spread on our toast every day.
Or our bodies.
Yeah, if you're into that, why not? Rub some of that margarine on your nips.
Exactly.
No one's judging here. However, the dairy industry in Wisconsin was not happy one bit and thought it was a major concern that could hurt the major dairy industry. And margarine does taste a lot like butter, as well as having a much longer shelf life, and also many people saw it as being much healthier than butter.
Right.
So in 1881, the first law was produced requiring margarine to be properly labeled as such. And a state law passed requiring hotels and restaurants to tell their customers if they're getting margarine and not butter. Like you can't, and even to this day, you can't.
It's illegal for them to
They have to serve you
margarine.
butter unless you ask for margarine.
Right.
It's pretty nuts. In 1895, there were moves to create legislation to try to ban the manufacturing, use, and prohibition of the coloring of margarine to appear more like butter. Thus, one of the reasons the color was a big issue. If it appeared as lard or off-white and not spreadable butter, people would be completely turned off because, who wants a pearly substance on your toast?
No, and
it looks more like lard.
That's the thing, is that like it just... you have to sort of dress it up a bit in order to make it even presentable, because although the taste might be, similarly, of that of butter or, whatever, it may mimic well, but if it looks disgusting, we know people will not do it.
Agreed.
Just ask Richard Nixon in his first election.
Yeah, exactly.
The first televised, debates and stuff, and everybody was like, that guy's ugly and sweaty. So nobody wants that.
So Governor Hord, who was the governor at the time, was a huge name that stood behind the dairy industry here in Wisconsin, helping to get this law in place. More bills would be voted in, including limiting margarine being shipped from state to state, increasing the tax on it. A propaganda smear campaign with Hord's assistance was also started, which talked about the ingredients being beef fat as well as acids, instead of coming from the more natural source, the cow, not an artificial man-made source.
Right.
And, if you go to our social media, we're going to post some of these old articles and stuff, and actually some of the magazine articles where they tried fighting this. So.
Exactly.
In 1910, a Janesville man was caught selling and distributing Oleo and calling it butter, and he was actually sentenced to 18 months in jail for selling margarine.
He should have gotten life.
For sure, that's a Wisconsin no-no. Smuggling of margarine across state lines occurred often, and it was much cheaper than butter. And to avoid the state tax as well, places like Minnesota and Illinois were used as locations to purchase illegal Oleo. You could get caught and fined as a smuggler at the time, so as it was seen as a serious crime in our state.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
So-
they were taking no shit for this.
For sure. And so to get around this, people would use a pink dye to the uncolored Oleo to disguise the margarine so it didn't appear to be illegal, and they couldn't tax, and it looked more like the untaxed version.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so a lot of people did this, and it was a common practice. There was a story about a man who, he was a young guy at the time, but his mom and all the neighborhood would all get together and see who's going to make the Oleo margarine run to other states, Minnesota or Illinois.
That's insane.
And they would get boxes and boxes and bring it back, and they would split it, and to not get caught, they would dye it. So,
what a bunch of shit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
So in 1931, around 5,000 farmers marched to the state capitol to block this underground smuggling ring that was occurring throughout the state. And one of the notable events that occurred in 1965 was when one of the loudest foes against margarine, State Senator Gordon Rosselep, agreed to a blind taste test of butter and Oleo. He failed the test and actually was later revealed that his wife had been feeding him colored Oleo while telling him it was actual butter.
He probably just had COVID and he couldn't taste.
In 1965.
Maybe.
Hey.
Fuck COVID, man.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed. We got a special for you coming up here.
Yeah.
So other senators were involved, and 21 of them had sided with margarine as the winner, as being the taste they preferred. So responding to consumer preferences, the federal government repealed tax on margarine in 1950, but not Wisconsin, which continued its ban on colored margarine as the dairy industry was central to the state's economy. Pro-margarine advocates pointed out the law was completely wrong and not enforceable after surrounding states had lightened up their restrictions. It was not until legislature in 1967, with some caveats, to finally lift the ban from existence. Some of the things that are still in play, however, including restaurants are forbidden to serve margarine instead of butter unless a customer is specifically requests it. Efforts to appeal this law in Wisconsin in 2011 actually failed. They could not pass this.
Right. So I remember this, that they in 2011 they were trying to repeal the entire restaurant thing, and it completely backfired. I think that they were thinking that the health movement of 2011 and around that time would really play in their favor. But again, I mean, the dairy industry in our state is so prevalent, and it literally carries most of our big income. So to be able to take that away, and remember, this is like the one thing that remains out of all this is that
I know, right?
Just the ability for restaurants to or the inability rather for restaurants to serve you margarine as the first product. You have to request
and
it.
you can go to the store now and pick up yellow margarine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's all over. So I want to just state the penalty. So if a restaurant does serve you margarine instead of butter, the penalty for someone to do this is $500 fine and 3 months in prison. We're talking prison time for serving you margarine, which thus ended the long battle of the Oleo margarine war. But there's still little battles that are still occurring to this day.
Right. I think until they have the full availability to serve you margarine at any given time, we'll probably still see these things happen.
I agree. And so, Eric, what are your thoughts? Are you more of a margarine or a butter guy?
Have you seen my body?
I am a butter guy too.
I am a straight up butter guy.
If you're gonna have brats, you got to put butter in them.
Well, that's my thing. Is I've stated this on a number of episodes so far, specifically about the brat thing. And obviously, we don't boil the brats in beer to cook them and then throw them on the grill. We do it properly. We give them a bath. Exactly. We give them a bath afterward for flavor. And one of the major things that I've learned from my dad was half a stick of butter in with the beer and chop up some thinly sliced but long pieces of onion and let it bathe in that. And then you're able to then serve that as almost like a sauce on the bun too. So it adds so much more flavor. Margarine,
I
don't
never
get
got
it.
into it.
Exactly. I just don't get the flavor.
So for you, is there a special brand you recommend checking out for butter?
We use specifically here in our house the Land O'Lakes,
Okay.
but it's the easy spreadable tub
Okay.
of butter. So again, we're not a tub of margarine.
Right, exactly.
We do have the sticks as well here.
Okay.
But in terms of putting it on bagels, toast, muffins, or something like that, we use the easy spreadable tub.
Okay.
And I believe it might have a little bit of oil in it as well.
Just to kind of fluff it.
Exactly.
That's all they're doing with it.
That's all they're doing.
So for me, if you get a chance to check it out, if you go to Weyauwega, Wisconsin, there's
sure.
the Weyauwega factory or Weyauwega Farms, I believe it
I
is.
eat their cheese.
Yeah, their smoked string cheese is bomb,
Yeah.
but their butter is phenomenal.
And just in case you're not up that direction, I believe it's Woodman's.
Woodman's does carry Weyauwega.
Woodman's has Weyauwega.
You should definitely check that out. It's one of my favorites and one I use for like recipes and stuff. It just the salted and unsalted. If you're making baking cookies and stuff like that, they're both phenomenal.
Absolutely.
They're like a nice butterfat content.
Yep.
They have a nice saltiness for your brats. Like
Yep.
Man, it's such a great butter. But yeah, that's going to conclude our main segment for today on the war against Oleo margarine, and on to the music segment.
And on to our Wisconsin music segment, as Russ stated. We have Yellow-Bellied Sapsuckers. They are a phenomenal bluegrass, that same kind of folk bluegrass feel.
Yeah, they got a little country twang.
Country
I
twang.
love it.
They're amazing.
I mean, for us, we've been lucky with the bluegrass bands. We've had some of the top notch. We have a lot of great ones coming up too. If you haven't
Yeah.
been to our social media where we posted some of the bands coming up, definitely go and check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is one of those ones that I would stay tuned to their social medias and find out when they're going to be touring again. This is early in 2021, so we know winter dates are probably hard to come by. But as soon as we get back to maybe the festival season and stuff, the state fairs and that kind of thing, we might be seeing them tour a little bit more, which is great. I've seen them do a couple of Facebook Live or YouTube Live, whatever
Cool.
those ones are. I've seen them do that a couple times during this the early parts of COVID and stuff. But the song is You Don't Exist. Again, the band is Yellow-Bellied Sapsuckers. Absolutely phenomenal music. Just remember to go check them out.
You ask me how I know I won't see you again. You want to know how I can be so sure. Well, let me tell it to you so you'll understand. You'll be dead to me when you walk out that door. You can't break my heart if you don't exist, because a man who never was never can be missed. Your sweet words are unspoken and your kisses are unkissed, 'cause darling, you can't break my heart if you don't exist. Well, I don't have to wish that you were never born. Don't have to curse the ground you walk upon. I can't forgive you if there's nothing to forget, and I can't call out a name I've never known. You said that she meant nothing. You said you could explain, but to me you're just some old John Doe who's found himself a Jane. You can't break my heart if you don't exist, because a man who never was never can be missed. Your sweet words are unspoken and your kisses are unkissed, 'cause darling, you can't break my heart if you don't exist. You said that she meant nothing. You said you could explain, but to me you're just some old John Doe who's found himself a Jane. I used to think you were the lover of my dreams. You came into my life out of the blue. But if you came from nowhere, you can go right back. I'm gonna find a real man now that there's no you. You can't break my heart if you don't exist, because a man who never was never can be missed. Your sweet words are unspoken and your kisses are unkissed. 'Cause darling, you can't break my heart if you don't exist. 'Cause darling, you can't break my heart if you don't exist.
Russ, what are you feeling that?
That was amazing. It reminds me of Andrew's Sisters a little bit, a little Les Paul.
The Les
I
Paul
love
and
it.
Mary
It was
Ford.
a super good song.
The thing is that Russ kind of went into that one blindly. I had told him of the Yellow-Bellied Sapsuckers, of that kind of country folky twang, and he as the song played out, he was just like, he looked at me with the shock, especially when the kind of right into that first verse, but there's that like point where it almost sounds like the vocals double.
It's like overdubbed.
It
It's
is.
so good. It sounds
is.
amazing.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I'm really glad we had them on the
Yellow-Bellied
show.
Sapsuckers are
super
so
good.
good. Absolutely. Remember to check them out. Their social medias, YouTubes, all that stuff. They are on Spotify as well for everybody who has that. Absolutely fantastic. Now on to another beer review.
So today we're drinking a Asylum beer. It's, everyone was telling me it's a little gimmicky, but it's fuck COVID beer, which, who can agree with that? It's a hazy pale ale, 5%. Super great. It's not gimmicky. It's a well-crafted beer from Asylum in Madison, Wisconsin. The can, like, they make it look like FVCK, but
Yeah.
we know what they're going for here. We get you guys. Wink, wink. We got it.
Yeah, it's cool because the V of COVID, it's so fuck is on the top, COVID's on the bottom. So they're stacked letters, but then the V of COVID comes up to be the U of fuck.
Right, exactly. And it's like a really cool, it's a black and lime green.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's a really cool, like,
Black,
standout
white,
can.
and lime.
It's cool. And me and Eric have been to Asylum, which is one of our favorite places to go. We love that
I remember
place.
when we went there and had when we were doing the tap room, you, myself, and Mike.
Yeah, oh yeah, for
your
sure.
old
That was
roommate,
fun, man. The
Mike
tour
King.
and stuff. What a great place.
Yeah,
honestly.
just a really cool. Did I buy a hat there, or was that Carbon 4 that I bought a hat at?
I think you bought a hat at Asylum,
Yeah,
actually. So
such a cool. Did we go there with Mike?
Yeah, we did. Yep, we went on the tour there.
And
they were just getting
Katie
the
was
canning
with
line.
too?
Yeah, they just got the canning line.
They just
and,
opened the canning.
I remember they have a really nice area to eat too, which is cool. They used to be in the old Carbon 4, but moved to their new facility, which
That's
is
why I
right
was
by the
getting- yep.
airport. Yep. And it's just a really cool place to check out. This beer is really good though. It's a hazy pale ale. You're definitely getting that pale ale hop flavor. At least I am.
Yep.
It's juicy, really drinkable. I love it. I love this. I love the fuck COVID thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm so sick of this. I'm sick of masks. I'm sick of this whole deal. This beer drowns
Yeah.
my sorrows. It's just great.
I think the biggest thing that I am missing right now is being able to go to concerts.
I agree.
In more of the traditional sense. My wife and I went with Zach Mogensen a few months back now to one of the drive-in shows.
Those are cool. That's kind of nice that they're being
I thought
creative,
that was neat.
Yeah,
And it was done for a Riot Fest thing. It was a Riot Fest production for Halloween. They had Newfound Glory.
Oh, wow, cool.
Anybody who knows myself, I love the pop punk stuff, especially from that late 90s, early 2000s. And Newfound Glory has been one of my favorite bands for a million years, it seems now. And the drive-in shows were really unique, really, really safe, totally socially distanced. The beer lines were set up so that way you were, spaced apart. Everybody behind the scenes was wearing gloves, masks, the whole nine, using sanitizer
Cool.
whenever necessary and everything. And this beer would have gone perfectly at that
for
show.
Sure. It's funny because when me and Rachel, we were up in Wausau area, and Sturgeon texted me late one night. He's like, "Did you know Horseshoes and Hand Grenades and Charlie Parr are having a drive-in?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "No way, dude."
I thought you guys were going to be able to go to
I
that.
was trying. It was sold out because
Yeah.
it was like just such a huge show, and we were like heading up to Rhinelander. And I was like, oh, my God, it would have been so cool to see those guys while we were up there. But, yeah, this beer would have gone great there, too. I mean, just it's a staple, man. Like, and nobody wants COVID. We hate it. Like, this was like the best beer to drown your sorrows and hate it.
It tastes so good.
It's tasty.
Again, it's that perfect mouthfeel. At no point are you, like, overly bittered out. It's so good.
Yeah, it has definitely juicy. But if you guys get a chance, please check these guys out. It's the Ale Asylum Fuck COVID Hazy Pale Ale 2.0. Great beer. You're going to see the can. It stands out. Snag it from your local liquor store. Check it out. Let us know what you think.
And now for another, how many locals you at?
Yeah, so this one's pretty nuts. I'm going to tell you right now. It's another crazy case of 2 DUIs in one night. So in Sturtevant, Wisconsin, police deal with drunk drivers all the time, but this case was a twist. Officers in Racine County, Wisconsin, say they arrested a 25-year-old driver Saturday in Sturtevant driving westbound on Durand Avenue, swerving into oncoming lanes of traffic.
That's never good.
Nope. Later that night, police say 15 minutes after the driver was released from jail into the care of a sober driver, he got another DUI violation. Police say they found him inside the car warming up a pizza on the dashboard.
How?
I don't know.
Warm up? Oh, okay. Maybe it was the pizza was like it was already made.
Maybe
from
just warming it up.
He's trying to warm it up on the
But
vents.
because he had the keys in the car, 2 DUIs.
Even if you have the keys on you.
Agreed. So the pizza was situated over the heat vents. Police tested him and say he failed an alcohol test. So they re-arrested him, probably before he had a chance to even eat his pizza. Police say the man would have already one DUI on his record. These are his second and third arrests. So we got a lot to break down here, Eric. We got a 25-year-old driver, Sturtevant.
He was released on signature bond.
15 minutes later, he decides he's going to make some pizza with the key in the ignition. So this guy is locoed out. Let's be honest here. This guy definitely has some tolerance.
Yeah, I would like to say, he was released
He's
on
a younger
signature
guy,
bond.
25, younger guy.
Yeah, exactly. So released on signature bond to a sober, responsible person, and then he decides first of all,
I need some pizza, dude.
Well, I just wonder, so generally the vehicle that you get pulled over in either gets towed, or if it's in a safe enough area, they can just leave it there. Roadside until you're able to pick it up.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is here, the sober, responsible person should also be in trouble here too, because they clearly brought them back to their car.
I agree.
Not just brought them home. I mean, you need to be responsible enough to say this person doesn't need to be going back to their vehicle.
Yeah, let them sleep on your couch.
Let them sleep at your house. Take them back to their house, but don't bring them back to the scene of the fucking crime.
Right. So now this guy's 2 DUIs one night, cooking pizza, 25 years old.
Well, and now you
not a good choice.
Now you go from your first being potentially just a fine, no jail time, and then you go to your second, which is absolute mandatory jail time, whether that's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, something like that, likely with some sort of work release or something, Huber. But the point being, this person's stupid enough to drink and drive the first time, and then stupid enough to have their sober driver drop them off at their vehicle to then be sitting there warming up pizza and stuff. The cops are going to walk up to your car if it's sitting there running wherever you are.
That's
and
probably how they caught him,
because
they're going to check and probably flag the car so somebody could come pick it up, and he's probably sitting in there cooking pizza.
Yeah, so stupid.
Yeah, so this was not a good choice on this guy's part. I mean, yeah, you're hungry, you need to absorb some of that alcohol, but why have your car on? Just eat the cold pizza. Dude, who doesn't love cold pizza?
And honestly, even just being in the car is a bad choice.
For sure. And so what do you think, Eric? I mean, we got 25-year-old, 2 DUIs one night, not the brightest guy, has some tolerance. I'm thinking 12 Loco. How about you?
Yeah, I think at the height of his night, 12 Loco seems appropriate.
I think he was coming
Sucking three
down, but
cans.
I think at the height, like you said, it's a 12 Loco guy.
Yeah.
And he actually might be a Loco drinker, to be honest.
Oh,
25-year-old.
Yeah.
And cooking pizza on his dash. He's definitely Mountain Dew, Locos,
Well, so I would like to
malt
say,
liquor.
let's just say 10 years ago, this kid got into drinking, probably 15, 16 years old. And that's like, I don't want to say that that's when the height of Loco was, but somewhere in that neighborhood is when kind of Loco took over the scene.
Agreed.
So it's very, very possible that this individual is fond of the Loco and has dabbled in it.
He loves Loco and he loves pizza.
He loves
Za.
Ian's Pizza and he loves Four Loco.
All right.
Not sponsors.
So 12 Loco.
12 Loco. Gavel has sounded.
So today we're here with Robin from Grumpy Troll. Robin, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Not too
Great,
bad.
great.
Can you give us a little history about Grumpy Troll?
Yeah, so Grumpy Troll's been around for 20 years, and it's set in a small town just outside of Madison, Wisconsin that's known as the troll capital of the world, and so hence that's where the name comes from.
Is that the Mount Horeb area?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's about 20 minutes just outside of Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, so I remember taking my my little guy through there, and I thought he was going to really like the trolls. Turns out he's scared of trolls. So
I can see that. Yeah, they're definitely not fun-loving little creatures.
no, they're definitely your Norwegian folklore scary trolls.
Scary trolls.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
So is there any new brews that you recommend we got to try out at Grumpy Troll? Because we can't wait to make it there. We're really excited for COVID to be over. So.
Well, and we're doing a one-time only release of a new beer called Kusli. And Kusli in Norwegian is the concept that we should embrace the outdoors and really live in Wisconsin winters. And it's actually an imperial stout that we've added some cherry to as well. So it's warm and rich and inviting, and we're actually debuting that on Black Friday.
Awesome.
I cannot wait. Honestly,
Yeah.
as a Norwegian and Finnish resident of Wisconsin, I cannot wait to try that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, we're really excited about it. And again, it's, we're only doing this just to kind of say, COVID sucks, but, we still want to be social in some ways. So we have this great outdoor patio that we're opening up with fire pits. And so you can actually still enjoy beer outside and, come dressed for the weather and enjoy this one-time release that we'll never bring back again.
And that's what I was going to say. You can still do the outdoor patio thing, dress appropriately, and you'll have a couple of fires going anyway. So, I mean, it's
Right.
perfect.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't have a hat or mitten in Wisconsin?
Right.
It's not a big deal.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, so that's what our next question. I know COVID's been really bizarre, but we were gonna ask, do you guys have any regular events that you recommend people come and check out?
So we have been fairly low-key about our not doing events just to not try to spread issues and crowd the place. So we've really been focusing on, we have grab and goes for people to come take. We've been bottling more of our beer in bombers than we normally do, so we have a larger selection in the bombers that we normally do. And then hopefully we're going to get back to normal and do a first ever Oktoberfest out at the brewery this year in September when we're on the other side of this. And we're focusing on that. Typically we would do like bingo on the weekend, on the Wednesdays, and when it gets cold, giving people a reason to come out. But with capacity limits in Dane County at 25%, we really can't have that many people in the brewery at any one time right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then I was gonna ask too, so if you guys have like bombers and beers, can we still stop by and do a takeout and grab those?
Yeah, so we fill growlers like any brewery, but we also bottle our own bombers in-house, so we always have those available for people to come grab and take.
Awesome, Robin. And yeah, like I said, we cannot wait to get back to Grumpy Troll.
Yeah.
And maybe we can talk some beer with you, Robin, next time we're up in the area.
Yeah, make sure you give a shout out. I will make sure I'm in the building, and we can do a full tasting. We always have 12 beers on tap, so we always have a lot of diversity for people. From,
Awesome.
Sours to IPAs to imperial stouts and pilsners. So.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring you some Wisconsin Drunken History koozies too, just so you can have one as well. So.
Lovely.
All right, so before we let you go, we always ask our guests, how Wisconsin are you? And these are just like 8 to 10 questions randomly, things that people in Wisconsin do or have done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So the first one I have for you, have you ever tailgated at a Brewers, Packers, or a Badgers game?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yep. Who hasn't?
I know. It's like
I miss it so much.
Yeah.
I know.
That's what we're talking about. You can go stand on the patio and drink our beer because you can stand at a Badger game and drink beer in the snow. It's not any different.
Exactly. You dress up and go to Lambeau Field, for crying out loud. You might as well be able to stand outside.
Right. I it's funny because my little dumpy Webster hasn't had any use this year, which is just nuts. So, Robin, have you ever milked a cow?
I have, actually.
Have you done it by hand? Extra points.
I have. That's the only way I've done it.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. That's awesome. You get extra points for
That's
that one.
very extra points for that one.
Super cool.
Nice.
Have you ever participated in the jump around at Camp Randall?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
All right.
I was there the inaugural season they did it, too.
No
There you go.
way. Awesome.
1998.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I got the next one I ask. It's kind of controversial. What do you consider to be up north Wisconsin?
Oh, so I am a full up past Minocqua, Hayward. I'm a Hayward girl.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, you're up there. Great.
That's really up there. Yeah.
That is the true north in my opinion.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
But I had my
it's
first.
none of this Black River Falls stuff. So it's not up north.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my first experiences of Rhinelander and Minocqua area this year, and I loved it. So.
Oh yeah, it's such the whole topography and the trees change. And
Yep.
Yeah.
It smells different.
All right. So the next question I got: have you been to Summerfest, and do you have a memorable band that you saw there?
Yeah, so my favorite time I have ever had at Summerfest was Buckwheat Zydeco out of New Orleans.
Nice.
And the band actually got down in the crowd and started dancing with us.
I love Buckwheat. He's
That's
awesome.
amazing. Yeah, they're definitely good.
No, that dude
It was
is.
the old Leinenkugel stage before they redid it.
Yeah.
Giant little tent and crazy time.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So next question, I know I've done this, but have you ever hit a deer?
Yes, I have. Yeah, venison sausage is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You hit them, they're tenderized and ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll.
Throw,
That's right.
throw in the trunk and butcher her up.
Yep.
She's good to go. All right.
I've never done that. My grandfather did, though.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a supper club, and do you have a favorite?
Oh, yeah, I miss supper clubs, man.
Me too.
There's so few of them left. I think the 5 o'clock steakhouse in Milwaukee is my favorite one.
Yeah.
That's a
Around
great
right now.
one,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, that's a great one.
So I got a couple more questions for you. One, is there a Grumpy Troll beer we can use to make brats with, like to get a unique flavor?
Yeah, so we usually use Eric the Red with our brats. It's a nice full-bodied red ale. It's like our top 2 seller.
Awesome. You know what's crazy is my co-host here, Eric, is named after him, and my son is named after Eric the
Yeah.
Red.
Absolutely.
And we spelt him.
Really have to have that then.
Yeah, we gave him the Norwegian spelling, which is the EIRIK.
Yep, that's how we do it too.
Yep, that's how that's my little guy.
I'm only the ERIK, so I don't have the extra I there.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Yeah,
we'll forgive
we'll give
you
it a little forgiveness here.
So you know what? I gotta ask you this one. So have you ever had a true muddled old fashioned?
Yes, we do them. We muddle them ourselves. We have an Agar old fashioned. Agar is the name of our troll. So
Awesome.
that's the only way to do an old fashioned. Right?
Oh,
None of
yeah.
this East Coast stuff with just liquor and bitters.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yep.
that for
Yep.
sure.
I had one last night, so it was delicious.
They're so good. All right, so we got one more question, Robin, before we let you go today. Besides Grumpy Troll, is there a brew pub, brewery, or anywhere you recommend people go and check out to get a good, fine beverage?
We are a big fan of Stone Arch Brewery, and Appleton. They're a great, in an old mill. They do a lot of great beers, and so if you're in that area, we highly recommend them. And Twisted Root up in Green Bay. So they're doing some amazing stuff with beers.
Both fantastic places. I know I love Twisted Root, and I've actually had quite a few of the Stoned Arch because I guess they bottle. And I found a few of them, and they're just super amazing. They're really great. Yeah,
it's definitely worth a stop. That's a great northern Wisconsin tour, and some really great stuff coming out of those places.
Awesome,
Robin. Thank you so much for taking your time on a Sunday to come on our show. I mean, it was
really enjoyable, guys.
Yeah, thank you. I know it's like a Packers day, so you can't really miss that. So we really appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, we can't wait to get up there. All right, that concludes this episode of Wisconsin Drunken History Podcast.
If you enjoyed this vulgar display of Wisconsin, please like and subscribe on whatever streaming platform you prefer. And remember to hit the bell on YouTube to be notified when we release new content.
Also, if you have any suggestions or ideas for future episodes, please send us an email at widrunkenhistory@gmail.com or head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages.
Thanks again for listening, and remember, as always,
watch out for deer on your way home.